You're watching the Shift Asia in-depth series with Lee Ventures. Now, in line with Alpha Startup's pre-accelerator for women, we're featuring female entrepreneurs. Today's guest is Professor Dr. Norilmi Amilia Ismail, CEO and founder of SpaceIn. And SpaceIn aspires to spearhead the space exploration activity in Malaysia, and they believe in the liberty of space discovery through low-cost and commercially accessible technologies. Nice to be speaking to you, Doctor, and nice to meet again. Maybe we can start a little bit. I'm sure you've told this story a million one times, but let's start again. Can you share what got you interested in aerospace engineering?
Hi everyone, my name is Norilmi. When we talk about aerospace, I know that most of people think about, especially space, about rocket and other things. But how I started in aerospace, I actually graduated in University of Science Malaysia, Bachelor of Aerospace Engineering. And during that time, I think I was the third batch. And this course, when they promote to us, show that this is something that new and also adventurous. So being me, I love adventure. So this is, I think, the way of how actually I want to do. Then I choose aerospace. But then after I finished my study, I worked in Proton for 2 years as a procurement executive there. And then within these 2 years, I'm thinking that I should go back to aerospace because this is my passion. Then I back to US and become a lecturer. Then further my study in space mission design and analysis for the master, and also looking on the vibration of the space structure for my PhD. So all the way, I think I am, my direction is really more towards aerospace because the adventure and also the interesting being in this sector.
Right.
I don't think that I have like something like, oh, I love to watch Star Wars and other things, but it's more on me, myself. I love something challenges, adventure. So this is why the reason I'm being in this industry.
Right. So interesting, you know, when you were in procurement, I think that was not what your life was supposed to be.
Yeah, that make me think a lot about that. Why I'm here.
Okay. You're also a lecturer at USM. Why start a business?
Freda, actually, when I teach my students, there is one burning question from them. We know that space industry in Malaysia is not that big. We don't really have, like, if we see back in like 5 years before, we don't really have a company. I think it's only 1 or 2 companies related to space. And my students start asking me where actually they should work because they really have interest in this industry, space industry, but there's no offer they can find in Malaysia. So normally my answer was, okay, you further your study, good, and you're working abroad, take all the experience, come back and do something here in Malaysia. But then when I'm thinking back, oh, maybe this is coming from me, myself, I can do something. Right. That's the reason why I have this company. I think when I open the company, I can give back to my student, of course, I can hire them. At the same time, I've been in industry for 11 years and I've done lots of things, from academia, becoming an NGO, trying to push industry. But it's not really a very big impact when we push that. But when I start a business, I can see that government start to look to have interest.
Right.
And because I think you can see the return of investment. You know that you put the money, then you will generate more income, generate more jobs. So this is one of the things that why I think business is one way to push the space industry. So my motivation is more to have the space industry in Malaysia. We have more companies, we have more vibrant industry, and then it can create jobs to my student.
Right. You've had a couple of interesting events and collaborations happening. Tell me about your collaboration with Plantus International and the Satellite Internet of Things.
Plantus is actually the reforestation company where they replant the trees at deforestation area, and they also trying to manage the forest, meaning that they need a system, forest management system. And you know that deep in the jungle, if you want to get something, you have to go inside there. And for example, here, if you want to get the data inside the jungle, so you have to send your stuff there, and you have to know where location they have to go. And during that time, when they send somebody inside, they don't really know what will happen to them, because they can't really contact them, because you know that there is no network there. So they have to wait the stuff to come back. So one of the things that they really want to work with us is on the tracker from the stuff itself. But then for the tracker also, they want this tracker, we can innovate more, and they can put to the animals there, the wildlife, so they can track and they can monitor the wildlife. So tracker is one thing. Another thing is on the environment itself. So you need certain data from the forest. The problem now is you have a sensor inside that, but if you want to monitor without any internet, without any connectivity, you have to go to deep in the jungle, take the data. So they don't want to do that. So they want something that they can just place the sensor, and the sensor will directly give all these informations via internet or other things, so they can monitor from far away. So this is all about Internet of Things. Planters want to have this, all the data on the tracker, and a lot of other things also, so that they can manage the forest. They can help government to manage the forest. So this is all about the collaboration with planters. So we're going to provide them the connectivity to the sensors, and also to provide them on the tracker side. So these things need to use technology of the satellite. So satellite will get all the data and send back to the ground stations, and the ground station will have the data center. So this data center have a cloud system. So planters can access directly to the cloud to get all this data.
Okay, so I know I'm going to ask you a little later the opportunities, right? You've just given me one example, and I'll ask again, what are the other opportunities in space technology? But before that, you also recently launched the SpaceANT-D. What is the significance of this launch?
When we have this company, of course, we want to make our own satellite. But you know that satellite is so expensive. We need very big capital. But current trend is actually the size of the satellite can be reduced, and it can also have a specific function of the satellite. So we choose this very small satellite, which is, we call that pocket Q, which is the size is less than 1 kilogram. So with this satellite, what we can do is we can test the technology, and also we can train our engineers. So these are two things that we are trying to do with SpaceANT-D. We're trying to make our own satellite. This is coming from the scratch. We design, we fabricate, we test, and we launch. So we have this full cycle of manufacturing, and my engineer can learn from that. At the same time, we also want to test the connectivity. So we have this satellite up there, around 600 kilometers. So we're trying to connect with our sensor here, down here. But this is now, currently, we're still tracking that, because when we launch, we have lots of satellite also launched together. So we do get our first signal, but then we have to track more and more, and there's a lot of noise, and we learn throughout all this process.
Wow. Okay, so there's so many, and it's less than a kilo.
Pardon?
You said, oh, wow. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, when you talk about all these things, you gave an example of how it helps with deforestation. This is what the technology can do. What are the other opportunities in space technology that we're not aware of?
Okay, the space technology has lots can be offered, but when we focus on Internet of Things, it's meant that it's machine-to-machine connectivity. Because some people ask me whether I can be like a Starlink for this IoT. No, Starlink is more giving connectivity to others, but this is machine-to-machine, meaning that you can send the data from one sensor and you can get your data back. So this can be applied to any things that need the sensor, and it has been placed in remote area where there's no connectivity. For example, we have agriculture. We need also data from agriculture to get to monitor the growth of the tree and other things. And this agriculture area normally at remote areas, so they
Right.
still need connectivity, so we can provide this connectivity direct to their sensor. The other application is for the oil and gas. You know that oil and gas, of course, in the remote area, the oil rigs is at the ocean, so there is no connectivity other than satellite communications. So having the satellite communication, yes, you can have that, but maybe it could more cost.
Right.
So if you have a few sensors only, then this sensor also can connect directly to you by using the cloud, and also, of course, all the data can send to the satellite and back to the cloud, and you can retrieve back. So reforestation, one that. Even transportations. And if we call that constellation, we have more than one satellite, then we can have tracking on the fleet management, something like that, or asset tracking. So I think this is lots of opportunity using Internet of Things, which is we yet to explore in Malaysia.
Wow, there's so many things, right? Now, I want to talk a little bit about this. Well, this is about encouraging entrepreneurship. So when it comes to gender equality, though, I don't think there are many women in this space, and there's a total pun intended. Why do you think this is the case? You know, women in this space.
This is, yeah, I know that when of course, when I went to event and other things, I can actually see the difference between how many women, how many men in the room. And it's more on the STEM education, of course, we back to the STEM education. The perception, which is sometimes we feel that this area is difficult, it needs the strength of men, something like that. But when we look back on the space industry itself, I think an earlier during the lunar mission, Apollo mission, we have women actually calculating the trajectory for that.
Yes.
Women actually working on the software for the Apollo missions, meaning that the opportunity is there, but it's up to the female to involve in this industry. But for me, I'm encouraged my students to involve, especially our female students, because I think it's not really need your strength. It's just we are same equal if we use our own brain to work. And for this, I think it's supposed to be open to everybody. And I can see we are really fighting for this. Even in UN, we have this Space for Women program, so that we can encourage them, we can mentoring them. Maybe what we can do is we just show them that this can be done, female can do this, and we have a few examples, we can mentor them. Then this is what actually UN doing, and I involved in mentoring for the Space for Women.
Right. You know, having started a business, what are the challenges having started a business, and has gender ever been a factor?
Of course, when I start this business, most of the player is actually men, and I can say I'm the only woman in the meeting. Even in one of the association for the space industry in Malaysia, I'm the only female representative inside the committee. And you have to trying to have the same language with them, trying to fit, we can see that. But for me, we don't really need to try hard, I can say. We can just be ourselves, and we can use whatever that we actually have that they doesn't, and complete each other, complement each other. And for this business, I think why we need women more, because we want the representation, the market sensitivity. Sometimes they don't really care about women. For example, in the space industry, if you are designing wear a suit for astronaut, sometimes they don't really look on whether you're female or male. This is happened. This is actually been shared by my friend from the astronaut from Russia, that the suit is same, even you man or woman. So you need woman representative on this. Same like business. There is some kind of the things that actually female have the specific requirement on this. So you can have this perspective of women when you do this business. And diversity and innovation is also need to be together. I think a woman have a diverse perspective, experience, and this will be complement if you give the idea or anything on the innovation side, then your product can be more suitable for all. So lots of things actually need women to be participated, but maybe this is the thing somebody is not really looking at. But we as a woman, we have to be brave enough to voice whatever what we should, or the things that really, I think will give benefit to us. At the same time, is also is gender diversity is also contribute to the economic growth actually. So need to make sure that female and also male actually equal in terms of these opportunities.
Dr. Norilmi, why do you think it's important for women to get into business, and how can accelerators help? I understand you've also just won an accelerator challenge recently.
As I told you before, representation is one of the things. Market sensitivity is also the most important, because women always make significant purchasing decisions. So having women in business actually help the company to better understand and cater the needs, the diverse needs, and preference on the customer base.
Right.
And gender diversity also, you can look on the contribution to economics, where we tapping the full of potentials on the talent pool, because we need to expand our talent pools. It's not only male dominated, you have to get also the females, and also this actually can increase on the productivity and also profitability of the company based on the perception or any idea coming from the female itself. And on the accelerator program, I think this is very important. Whenever I give my talk, I always encourage people to join accelerator program, especially for the first time founder like me. Because when I started my business, I don't really have a business background.
Right.
And when we participate in accelerator program, actually we have been taught lots on the business side.
Right.
And this give you a picture how actually you can run your business. And I think I've been involved in a few accelerator program, even though sometimes it's a repetition, but I think even the repetition, I can get something new from there. And with that, I equip myself to have more knowledge on the business side. If you are coming from, especially on the technical background, of course, accelerator program will really, really help you in looking how you can run your business, do the operation and everything. So for me, accelerator program helped me in the business, but at the same time also going for the networking is very, very important. Accelerator program, when you are joining that, of course, you
Right.
can meet a new people inside there, make a new networking, and of course your new networking maybe can be your partner in the future, or maybe it can be your customer, and you can learn from each other. That's the most important, because I've learned much from others too.
Yeah.
And from there, we have a various type of accelerator program. Recently, when I won for the She's Disrupt, I learned much on the impact-driven company, how to be impact-driven company, how to look for the sustainability. So this actually taught me how to manage my company and to put direction for the company. So in summary, I can say that accelerator program give a lot of benefit, and I encourage everyone to join accelerator program.
All right. And for women who are inspired after listening to Dr. Norilmi and are thinking of starting a business, and no, it doesn't have to be about space, do go to 𝗓𝗏𝗄𝗃's website to sign up and to register for the Alpha Startup Pre-Accelerator for Women program. Of course, you've been watching The Shift, and this is the In-Depth with series.